And our show ultimately today is just to give you a bit of background on what it's like as a uni student. So we're first year medical students, and this is our first year trying to experience Ramadan whilst also being a uni students and balancing it all, I guess. So do you want to give us a bit of background about us?
So I'm from Boston, so I don't live in Leicester. And Hafizah, she's from Boston, from Leicester.
So we both have like quite different experiences in terms of being a student. So Mahek obviously lives away from home, so that might be quite different as compared to how I experience Ramadan. So I'm living at home. I kind of have a similar schedule. The only big thing for me is just being at uni a lot of the time, but in terms of like my habits and everything, they're more or less the same. But I think we generally just wanted to start off talking about how Ramadan always comes at like the perfect time, and I think now that we've started uni, it makes you realize it a lot more. So I think like as a med student, we have a lot, like we don't have a lot of time to ourselves, and I think it's easy to get overwhelmed, like it's like exams and everything.
We were talking about this the other day. We were just talking about how we're so like constantly like stressed and overloaded with so much stuff, because obviously it's getting to like exam season, and we're like in that sort of like bubble of like revising constantly, and then we were just thinking that Ramadan has just come at such a perfect time when we can like, it just gives us so much like peace.
Exactly. And like I don't think we think about it like when we actually think about revising, studying, but I do think it does take a toll on your iman. Like, you know, you think that you're not doing anything, so what effect can it have? But there's little things like, why am I not understanding this? Why is everyone else understanding this? Or I don't feel like I'm good enough. And I think that just automatically affects how you feel, is like from an Islamic perspective. So then having Ramadan come at a time, especially when we feel like that, I think this year I felt it. Like I could feel myself feel a lot more low in esteem. And then having Ramadan come, and then I feel like it's gone up already just because of the fact that, you know, we think positively about it. So like knowing that there'll always be some sort of ease, or knowing that whatever we're doing has some sort of benefits to it.
In terms of even the whole like environment, like the environment changes. It's like we have like Tarawih, all the uni students are like praying together. It's a really nice like experience. As well.
I actually didn't expect that, to be honest, like from uni. I thought like I think uni gets a lot of hate in terms of like from an Islamic perspective, saying that, you know, there's a lot of fitna and everything. Obviously each to their own, but I think in terms of Ramadan, I feel it a lot more. I was talking about this yesterday, that obviously like sixth form and everything, you have people that fast, but I think, I don't know, how about you, like in uni, like you sense it, like you can sense that this is a special month and this is a special time to be doing things.
Even on the like, you can kind of see that everyone's like trying. It's actually like really nice to have people around you that like motivate you and like, oh, I'm gonna pray like 20 rakat today, or I'm gonna pray 8 rakat today. It's all, everyone's like trying.
And I think we can be a lot more casual about it as university students. Like I personally don't think we judge each other a lot. I think we encourage others a lot more. And like, for example, at uni, you know, they do the uni Tarawih, and I remember speaking to someone, they're like, normally like we just do 8 and we run off, but this time, because there's so many people that are turning there with their friends and everything, so it just encourages them to stay. But I think that's really good about uni. Like, what else have they been doing?
They've been doing like, we can do like iftar at uni as well. Like, for example, we have that hectic week next week, like 9 to 6. So we're gonna have to obviously break our fast in uni, but they do like free iftar. So in that sense, it's really good. Like, obviously the whole like Islamic communities come together and thought of like a good initiative for uni students. And that's quite a good way to bring everyone together. In that sense.
It's really nice to think, even like, as I think obviously it varies, but as med students we kind of see the same people quite a lot. You know, it's the same group of people every day, and I think we pick off each other's habits, but we notice certain things and we like help expand on it. So like, if we're praying, then we'll go pray together, or like if we're doing iftars, then we'll say let's do an iftar together. Or I think like we try to be of help to people as well who maybe aren't as I guess fortunate to be able to spend it with loads of people, because I know there are some people who are spending iftar this year alone. And that I really feel bad. I think, you know, I feel so upset knowing that there are people out there who's spending uni alone. And just to shout, you know, obviously we want to hear about your experiences. If any of you are students or just living away from home, if you want to call in, so you can call in on 0116 482 2086. We'd love to hear about your experiences. We'd love to hear how you're feeling, if there's anything that's changed on your half, or even if you have any advice for anyone else, I guess, that's maybe spending time alone, or any way that we could help people who maybe need that extra support. But yeah, to go back, I think, like you said as well, that you have family that you're living with, but you're not spending it with your immediate family. So how do you think that's affected you, like, emotionally?
Of course, like, alhamdulillah, I'm staying with some family right now, even in uni. So in that sense, I'm quite blessed to have like a home from, like, a second home from my home, obviously. But also it's not like the same. Like, it's the first year I'm ever spending time without my family. And like, even on Sunday, I had to break my fast in the train. So it's like, it's quite like emotionally, it quite hits you a lot. But sometimes I do think like, oh, I'm just growing up. But it's kind of like you have to make as much like dua, and you have to have that sort of sabr, in the sense that, oh, I'm doing this career, why am I here in uni, I'm doing medicine. You have to keep your intentions pure like all the time. So in that sense, obviously it's hit me, but I have to stay like patient.
And I think it does make you more grateful. Like, I personally, like I said, alhamdulillah, like, I still get to spend it with my family. I go home, I'm not living out. So I think, you know, you feel more grateful, because it's something that I think, like, we've overlooked. Like, you know, you spend Ramadan with your family, it's not a big deal. Like, everyone spends time with their family until you see people that don't, or until you're the one experiencing it and you're like, it was a big deal to spend it with my family. And like, a lot of people say, well, it's only for a month, or it's only like for a couple of years, but it's still the effect of it, because you're so used to spending it with your family.
Like, if you think about it, our whole lives we've been with our parents, and just suddenly we're apart from them. It's quite a big change.
It's a big change. And I think uni in itself is such a big change. And then when we have an even bigger change, it
just piles on.
It just piles up. And I think anyone that's a uni student, again, anyone that's doing like a degree apprenticeship or anything, they'll understand that there's already so much that's like on you, like your expectations in terms of educational wise, and then having to deal with the emotional strain of the actual degree or the actual course or whatever, and then having the Ramadan aspect of it. I think it does take a toll on you, and I think not a lot of people like look at it and recognize that it's something that you can accept that you're struggling with. But I think as people who are, alhamdulillah, in a position where we have family, there are things that we want to do to help other people as well. So I don't know, like, what have you ever thought of in terms of helping others? Because the most I've ever thought of is like obviously inviting them for iftar, but I feel like sometimes that's not enough as well. I don't know, have you ever thought about it?
I think like sometimes it's more about like your intention and just trying, doing what you think you can do for that person. Like, for example, if I see like one of our friends, like she's living out as well, like we said we'd go Tarawih together, after we do like iftar together. It's just that sense of like including them as much as we can. But like
it's hard, because like we say a lot more than we do, to be honest. But I guess you're right in the sense of intention. It's always about your intention. But I think in general with anyone, if we try to make that effort, because like I said, I don't think we realize how big of a good thing it is that we have people around us, and I think you feel it more than you do like at any point of the year, like in Ramadan. Like, I think as a student you realize that I'm not at home, I don't have family, but in Ramadan, when you're so used to doing that thing with your family and you're not doing it anymore, then it hits you more.
It's literally also like the little things, like my mum won't be there to wake me up for like sahur or sahri. Like, it's just the little things. It's like such a big change. You don't know how much in the moment that it affects you, and you like think about that, but it's like, it's just crazy to think, you know what I mean?
And then like we were saying as well, that there are people out there who are living alone for the first time and are trying to adjust to it. And then we know people as well who commute, like they're commuting from one city to another, like, and right now it's okay because we're in uni from like 9 to 1, so it's manageable. But like next week we're there from 9 to 6, so people who are going from one city to another, they're going to again have to either set off really late, or break their fast at a later time, or break their fast here and then come back. So it's just, again, it does really make you grateful. I think more than anything, the take home message from that is genuinely just to be grateful for what you have. And even, like, for example, like you're saying that you're not with your family, but you have people with you. Like, it does make you focus on the good aspects, even though there are parts that we struggle on.
Has there been like sort of any changes for you?
I think more than like family wise, it's just routine. Like I think mainly because of sixth form and like secondary as well, it's kind of been the standard 8 to 3 sort of thing. That's fine. But I think now that we're doing medicine, there's a lot more work. It's not just kind of like go back home and relax, pray, and then